The spiritual science behind self-doubt. What if self-doubt was the only thing in between you and materializing your desired reality? Now, I don't have to say what if, because how many times have you thought to yourself, why do I have to doubt myself? How many times have you felt paralyzed by your own mind every time that you're about to take a step in the direction towards your desired reality? Now, unfortunately, if you don't possess the capability of understanding the spiritual science of self-doubt, how to alchemize it and utilize or redirect that energy towards your desired reality, you will spend your life like most people in the world, probably 9% of the people in the world, that are trapped by their self-doubt. So I'm going to break down the spiritual science of self-doubt. And yeah, you can see man's got weight on his head. You can't tell me these drawings ain't getting better. Weight on his head, confused, heartbroken, standard, shouting at the self.
Pigeon.
Because doubt shouts at the self. It's somebody shouting. Bro, you can't play me like that. My drawings are getting better.
It's not your finest work.
Hey man, can't be every day. You get me? Cause one, you're like a dream come true. Two, just wanna be with you.
Three,
girl, it's plain to see that you're the only one for me. And 4, repeat steps 1 through 3. Alright, cool. I don't make this a bit more clean.
Shout out to the release of your book.
Oh yes, Amazon bestseller in 24 hours across all 3 categories.
Hey.
I can't lie. I completely even forgot about the concept of bestseller.
It's funny, you're a bestseller. This guy goes, I was gonna pirate ebook, but then I remembered I gotta support Nero's alcohol addiction.
Thank you so much. And when you're Zimbabwean, it's not called being an alcoholic. It's just called being Zimbabwean. You understand? AJ, we were drinking last week.
Were we? Nah, we were still.
AJ couldn't handle with the big boys. Pause. I don't know why that sounded mad.
I could hack it still.
Nah.
I could hack it still.
Poor Ray and nephews on the barbecued meat. Pause again.
That was my doing.
It was your doing. You were pouring
Everyone
all
had
over.
a shot of Ray and nephew as well. Culture.
You know the vibe.
Pure Jamaican culture.
Okay. I'm sure Ray and nephew is not even owned by Jamaicans.
Pure Jamaican culture.
Okay. Fine. I'll give it to the Jamaicans. Alright, cool. What color? I won't use yellow because people complained. Let's go with blue and brown. Cool. So, self-doubt. Let's begin understanding where self-doubt arises. Now, more often than not, like I said, in your head, you're thinking to yourself, why can't I do this? Can I do this? Will this work for me? I've seen it work for others. Can I do it? Do I possess the same ability as others? Any line of thinking that resonates with you doubting your ability to maintain in your desired reality is what self-doubt is. So let's define it. Quite literally, self-doubt is, the definition is hidden in the word itself, or the 2 words itself. Doubt of self. Now, this is the word we want to focus on right here. Self. To doubt self isn't to doubt yourself. Don't confuse self-doubt with doubting yourself. Understand that self-doubt is doubting self. Now you're probably thinking, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Well, you have to understand there's 2 aspects to you. So of course there's the version of you that exists within this 3rd dimension around the physical plane, or what we conceptualize as reality, known as your ego, which isn't some poor characteristic as it has been spiritualized. It is nothing more than the physical version of you. It's the physical vessel aspect of you. It's the materialization of God. Then there is the self. Now the self in the realm of metaphysics is what we conceptualize as God. Now, within the realm of metaphysics or the esoteric, it is understood that you are the materialization of God. You are the physical expression of God. God dwells within you, as it says in Corinthians. You are the dwelling place of God. Now, more often than not, people look and see the church as the dwelling place of God without actually having an understanding of scripture esoterically, because scripture also says that the temple of God was not made with hands, and no fucking church was, made without hands. So that should let you know that you are the dwelling place of God. Now, to doubt self is to doubt God. Now, if you go to the average individual and you say to doubt God, Essentially, what your mind begins to conceptualize is doubting an omnipotent force, an all-powerful force, a force that can do anything. The idea of doubting God is blasphemy in of itself, so why the fuck do you doubt yourself? And that's a bar, write that down. You're the materialization of God. God dwells within you. So every time that you doubt yourself, you're doubting God. And that's what you have to begin to understand about self-doubt. Because self-doubt in of itself is nothing more than the door in between you and your desired reality. Now, for most people, they're shut out from their desired reality by the door of self-doubt. So here's what you have to understand about self-doubt on a deeper level. Oh, fell on the floor, it's all right. I need you to understand that you only begin to feel self-doubt when you begin to conceptualize the idea of what we call better, or in this instance, just for easier conceptualization, desired reality. You doubt your ability. You doubt if you have the capability of doing it in the first place. So, self-doubt, what you have to understand is this. When we're talking about your desired reality or your new reality, the reality that you see to materialize, whether that's a promotion in your career, whether that is materializing a certain amount in your business, whether that's attaining a certain amount of followers if that's what you desire, whether that's to attain a healthy relationship, no matter what it is, right? No matter what your desired reality is, you can conceptualize that new reality that you desire as nothing more than a new frequency. It is a new consciousness. Now, consciousness, frequency, self-image, self-concept, they're all interchangeable terms for the same thing. But here's the thing. What you don't realize is that the moment that you decide to embark on a path to walking towards your desired reality, you have now triggered the forces of the universe. Because your current reality can be conceptualized as your current frequency, your current state of consciousness, your current self-image. But the thing about frequency or consciousness is that it is an entity. So your current reality or your old reality is a living entity, a living individual, a living being that exists on the spiritual plane that represents your old way of thinking, your old beliefs, your old emotions, your old reactions, your old perceptions, your old expectations, your old things that you have normalized. Each one of those things is an actual individual. Conceptualize that as a person. Imagine that person was with us in the room right now. They don't want to go because all entities desire energy. And the moment that it no longer gets your energy, you begin to fuck up its state of existence and you begin to set it in motion to potentially no longer exist. So what does it do? It begins to play a game. And that game is self-doubt. I need you to understand that self-doubt is nothing more than a defense mechanism of your old frequency. There's not a single human being in this world that doesn't experience self-doubt. Experiencing self-doubt isn't the issue. If you don't possess the capability to alchemize that self-doubt into self-certainty, then that's where you fuck up. And that's a bar, write that down. So you first have to understand that self-doubt is nothing more than a defense mechanism of your old frequency when it begins to feel under threat. Emphasis on threat. The minute that your old frequency begins to feel under threat, it begins to inspire you to begin to doubt yourself. Can you do this? Will it work for you? Do you deserve this? Nah, this ain't for you. You come from here. You're not like that. You can't do this. You can't do that. You don't deserve this. You don't do that. Yeah, but can you really do it though? Yeah, I'm not sure you can. I'm not sure you can. That particular line of chatter only arises under threat. It only arises under threat. It only arises under threat. Say it with me. It only arises under threat. And that's the key word. Why do I keep pointing at threat? Because what you don't realize is that self-doubt isn't a problem. It's actually a confession of a portal. What do I mean by that? If you only feel self-doubt when your old frequency begins to feel under threat, then you make the mistake of focusing on your self-doubt instead of the fact that your old frequency is under threat. What would it feel threatened by if change wasn't around the corner? And that's what you need to be focusing on. But we'll come back to that. Damn, AJ, you're not even on your phone. You're locked in.
Taking you in, bro. Wait, I'm gonna say pause.
I'm not the one that said it. You're not gonna pause that?
It's taking you in, man.
Okay, pause. I'm pausing for you. Taking another man in.
That's a good load of information.
You killed like 5 Jamaicans somewhere worldwide right now. Why? All right.
Huh.
The way that you're walking, the way that you're talking.
You the one I want to spend his life with.
Moving out to the morning. I can already tell you want it. Cause you're shaking it off for me, moving out for me. Body on you.
Someone said, Nero, you've completely changed my life and everything that I've always wanted for more than 2 decades is starting to materialize. Thank you. Thank you for all of the clarity. Thank you for the calm presence. Thank you for your dedication towards this material, the 400 plus books. It's been a long time of settling and suffering. Your videos have been my anchor for months, and now things are truly working out. Thanks again, with the smiley hearts emoji. I have conviction in my dream relationship materializing. Literally a guy that looks exactly like the guy I wanted to show up at the front step of my home.
Sound like stalking,
SP.
sis. Be careful.
Sounds like SP.
Sound like.
Crazy.
I'm messing.
Frequency is absolutely raising through the roof.
It's not a matter of your frequency raising. Don't make the mistake of conceptualizing your ability to materialize your desired reality in correlation to raising your frequency. It's not about raising your frequency. It's actually just about aligning to the frequency that you desire. Because reality is nothing more than immaterialized frequency, and reality is materialized frequency, and frequency is immaterialized reality. So it's not a matter about raising, right? Because I know plenty of degenerates that are living in their desired reality, and they're not doing all this spiritual shit that these niggas online try to tell you to do, like to do this, to do this, to do that. And that's not to say that eating, cleaning up your diet, so on and so forth, and fucking drinking smoothies, whatever the fuck they say, that's not to say that they don't affect you spiritually, because they do vibrationally, right? Because everything in the universe vibrates. But that's to say, when it comes to the materialization of your desired reality, the only thing that qualifies you for the right reality is becoming the right frequency, and that's by becoming the right person for that reality. But congratulations to you. I'm glad to hear that. Anything else before I go into this?
Someone said, why are you wearing sunglasses?
Got so many shades they thought I had a lazy eye. Oh. Purple. Is that the American accent?
Yeah,
purple?
Yeah. Yo, Americans, man. You can use purple?
Yeah, I'm gonna use purple star. Alright, cool. What was this?
Reality?
I feel like our American accents are a bit white. You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
Yeah. Perception, and then we'll go with truth. So, here is where you begin to actually make life worse for yourself. Instead of understanding that your self-doubt, is a defense mechanism of the old frequency under threat. Instead of understanding that self-doubt is actually more normal than anything, because at any given moment, you're beginning to shift from one frequency to another. Even when you get to the frequency of the reality that you desire, you're going to have a new frequency, and then you're going to desire a new one, and then that is, oof. Ladies and gentlemen, that was bad. That was bad. I really tried to style it off as well. I thought I had it, but I saw him smiling at me. Now, at any given moment, you're always going to be shifting from one frequency to another. Even when you materialize your desired reality, you're going to have a new desire. So there's always going to be a degree of self-doubt at every given stage of life. Understand it is normal, but here's the mistake that you make. You begin to look out into the world and you see people that have been able to materialize amazing things, maybe things that you even want yourself. And you make the mistake of thinking that self-doubt isn't a normal thing, so then you make it abnormal. And when you make something abnormal, you actually give it more energy and attention than it desires. And here's where the mistake begins to unfold. Your perception of self-doubt, that it is a terrible thing, that it is a tragic thing. Tragic. Do you get that reference?
No.
Everybody hates Chris.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? No, he doesn't know what I'm talking about. That it's a terrible, tragic thing, and it is the worst thing ever. That's how most people view self-doubt. When you begin to doubt yourself, you're like, oh, you get frustrated at your self-doubt. And that's the mistake that you make. Because through perceiving self-doubt, not as normal, but as terrible, tragic, the worst thing ever, and frustrating, you then begin to alter the projection. So you alter the way that you experience it, so you alter the way you materialize it. What do I mean? Let's say you begin to have self-doubt about your ability to attain a new financial level, right? You're like, can I get to this level? I see other people at that level. Now do I deserve it? Fuck, why am I doubting myself? Why do I always doubt myself? Why am I always doubting myself? And you begin to set in motion through your perception, because your perception is directly interconnected to your projection. I have a whole chapter about it in my Amazon best-selling book. Literally called the perception projection loop, where I go into the fact that the way that we look at things is the way things look back at us. And you can extrapolate this to life, people, career promotions, jobs. More often than not, for example, if you view something that is out of your league, such as a job or even an individual, right? You may see them as maybe too big for you. Through perceiving them as big, you project them to experience themselves in reference to you as big, so then it becomes something that's too big for your subconscious mind to accept, and then it doesn't materialize. The same thing takes place everywhere. The way that you look at life is the way life looks at you. The way that you look at self-doubt is the way self-doubt looks at you. You look at self-doubt like it's this big giant bully. You look at it quite literally like it's a giant, like a Nephilim. You literally look at it like it's this big bad wolf, and through perceiving it that way, you project a frequency for it to then alter itself based upon the way you're perceiving it to experience you in a particular way. How often do you feel like you just can't get rid of self-doubt, and it's this bully that just won't leave you alone? It's because you're perceiving it in a way that sets in motion for you to experience it that way. And that's a bar. Write that down. So your perception is the first mistake that you're making. The next mistake that you're making is through understanding the truth that what we conceptualize as truths. In the Hermetic tradition, they say all truths are half-truths. They speak about this in polarity because they understand that everything that exists in the universe exists with an energetic opposite. That energetic opposite is its own vibration. That vibration is a prerequisite to frequency. Frequency is a prerequisite to reality. So all truths are half-true. For example, is it true that all men are absolute dog animals that are disgusting? Yes. And it's a truth based upon the subconscious accepting of that belief. See, there's no truth in reality. They're merely ideas masking themselves as truths, because anytime that you say something is a truth, you make the mistake of solidifying it deep into your subconscious mind. Now I want you to think about everything that you conceptualize as true, and I want you to write that down, because everything that you deem to be truth by Hermetic tradition, all truths are half-truths. That is just one version of it. Now there's the complete opposite, right? Is it true that that there's no opportunities for people that come from certain backgrounds? Yes. Based upon the subconscious accepting of that particular truth, you then project a frequency that sets you into a world where you live there. Understand, there's one planet, 8 billion frequencies, 8 billion worlds. Now, what we conceptualize as truths is nothing more than an idea. Now, when we take into understanding self-doubt, I need you to understand something. When it comes to the reality that you experience, there are no truths other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true. Now, due to the fact that there's no truth in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true, do you make self-doubt true that it is this terrible thing based upon your subconscious acceptance of it? You need to begin to understand, you need to begin to alter the way that you perceive self-doubt. You need to perceive self-doubt as part of the game. In fact, it's an easy part of the game. In fact, it's a good part of the game. How often do you view self-doubt as a good thing? Probably never fucking heard that before, have you? Why would you? Because it doesn't make sense. It's not particularly conventional to accept self-doubt as a good thing. But why is self-doubt a good thing? Because self-doubt is an indication that your old frequency or your current reality is under threat. And if it's under threat, then that means things are changing on a plane of existence that you can't see. And that's a bar, write that down. So the first thing that you have to do is to perceive self-doubt as a great thing because of what it represents. And your self-doubt is going to be like, what the fuck? Why are you seeing me as a good thing? Because, right, beliefs are their own entities. Ideas are living things. They say thoughts turn things, and things are living entities. Thoughts are living entities. Ideas are living entities. Self-doubt is a living entity, which is deployed by your old frequency, which is its own living entity, to keep you paralyzed from moving forward. Perceive self-doubt as a great thing. That is the first step. So anytime that you begin to doubt yourself, I want you to say yes. Why? Because through perceiving it that way, you project a frequency into reality of greatness and goodness, which then will alter what you're experiencing in that particular condition of reality. And then that chain that you feel like is on you, or that weight that you feel like is on you, will all of a sudden be lifted off. And it's because the weight that is being projected onto you is the weight that you are projecting onto yourself through the perception of it being this terrible, tragic, worst thing ever, frustrating thing. So keep that in mind every time you doubt yourself that, you know what? Yeah, I see you smiling.
You're cooking still.
Yeah, I see you smiling. I see you smiling. And you have to begin to understand that the moment that you begin to alter it and, well, alter your perception towards it, you see it as a great thing, then due to the fact that there are no truths in reality other than what the subconscious mind accepts as true, what you begin to experience in reality every time you feel self-doubt will always be reflecting of greatness, goodness, and the exact energetic opposites of each one of these things. It'll be the best thing ever. It will feel liberating instead of frustrating. It will be amazing instead of terrible. And this is where it begins. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up next time.
Someone said they've been taking the bus for weeks and carpooling because I was having car troubles, but yesterday I manifested a new car. Got a 2024 Corolla.
Nice.
Plus, my TikTok shop account started blowing up and now I have a new source of income and I'm saving for my first house. Thank you, Nero.
Yeah. You don't have to thank me for anything. That's all you. That is all you. That is all you. We love to hear it.
So
at least we know that we can always get a lift.
Nah, for real. 2024, I don't mind.
You know what I'm saying?
Someone else also said, was debating writing my own testimony, and it isn't to brag or anything. I just want people to truly know their power. I was down and out, on my ass. Pause.
Did he say pause?
Yeah, he said pause.
Alright, good man.
He goes, I lost my job, bills stacking like a hill, lost my girl. Damn.
Oof.
This guy was down bad, bro.
Oof.
Down bad, bro.
Oof.
No car.
Oof.
But I didn't let the depression and anxiety sit in. I wanted nothing to do with that old frequency of doubt and worry. Yeah, funny we're talking about doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to divorce from it entirely. I told myself everything is going according to plan, and I am no longer dependent on seeing reality shift for internal happiness already residing within me. Sure enough, I'm making 10K a month.
Ooh.
Not working for anyone.
Ooh.
On my own time.
What color?
Able to help my parents and family. Secured a new car, a soulmate, traveling and going to places.
So you're traveling with a soulmate?
Yeah.
Got a new thing?
Crazy. Where was I? Yeah, going places, a little black boy from Miami. don't get a chance to go. And the crazy thing is, I wasn't even surprised when all of this was happening. It's like it was there all along. AJ and Nero, I know you guys don't do it for the accolades, but you have truly done something special. Thank you.
No, that's hard.
Real.
Thank you.
His name's G Star.
Yeah, that's real G living, Star.
Real.
That's real G living. No thought is real except the one that you choose. What do I mean by that? And that's a bar. Please write that down. Now, going off the back of what I was just saying, understanding that self-doubt is nothing more than what is deployed by your old frequency when it begins to feel under threat by the progression, your progression, and the alteration of your frequency. And bear in mind, how many times do you begin to think to yourself, is this stuff really working? Like, nothing's really changing. Is this stuff really working? If you want to answer to that, then just ask yourself, have I been doubting myself lately? Now, you might turn around and say, I've been doubting myself my whole life, and that means it's been fucking working your whole life. But through your perception that your self-doubt is a terrible thing, you have corrupted it and altered it negatively, which actually then breaks down the materialization of your desired reality. It's been working your whole life, and manifestation's been working your whole life, because manifestation is what people conceptualize as manifestation is the physical expression of a mental creation. So you've been manifesting your whole life. This isn't anything new. I'm not teaching you anything new. I'm just teaching what you forgot, what your self has forgot. Remember, self-doubt, doubt of self. Would you doubt God? Then no. Then why would you doubt yourself? But I'm not God, Nero. Well, God is within you at any given moment. So long as you have the capability of doing what Psalm 46:10 says, be still and know that I am God. More often than not, you first need to be still. And when you enter stillness, you then begin to observe your thoughts. And you make the mistake of doing something very, very dangerous, which is this: choosing your thoughts. Choosing thoughts you don't want. No thought is real except the one that you choose. The ones that you choose. So when you're doubting yourself in your head, and you're giving it more attention than it needs to, and you're getting caught up in your self-doubt, and you're beginning to now pour emotion into this. Think about emotion like petrol. What do the Americans call it? Gasoline.
Yeah, gas.
Gas, exactly. Think about it like pouring gasoline or petrol or diesel, whatever it is, or for the electric niggas, whatever the electric man got. Pouring that quite literally onto a fire. And that's the mistake we make. See, we don't have a true understanding of how thoughts work. Intro.
Hey, yo.
What's suspect about this?
The hell is that? It's not suspect. Not everything's suspect, bro.
Oh, like you just made me feel...
No, I'm on to you.
Okay.
Pause.
Okay. Well, this is a river. This is representative of the mind, or consciousness, or the mental plane, whatever you want to conceptualize it as. At any given moment, we make the mistake of identifying I don't know how to draw a fish, so this will have to be the fish for now. We make the mistake of identifying with the fish instead of the stream or the river. And at any given moment, due to us all being connected to the mental plane, 3 planes of existence, mental, physical, spiritual, because we're all connected to the mental plane, we all possess the capability of receiving infinite amount of messages and downloads. You ever just walk in and a guy goes by on a bike and you think to yourself, what would happen if I booted him off this bike right now? Where does that come from?
Them dark thoughts.
Where did they come from? But then you make the mistake of thinking that is you. You make the mistake of associating those thoughts with you instead of you are what the thoughts are in. But you see, that's the difference. You associate yourself to be the train, but you're not the train, you're the train station. You make this mistake of associating yourself to be the clouds, but you're not the clouds, you're the sky. You make the mistake of associating yourself to be the waves, but you're not the waves, you are the ocean. You understand what I'm saying? No thoughts are real except the ones that you choose. So then how often have you been choosing the self-doubting thoughts? And you're like, but Nero, I don't choose these thoughts. It's a simple decision. See, the old frequency wants to conceptualize everything and obfuscate it to be more difficult and more complicated and more complex than it actually is. It really is a decision. It really, really is a decision, but it doesn't feel like a decision, does it? What did I say? It doesn't feel like a decision, does it? It doesn't feel. Why do I keep saying that? Because anytime that we step into feeling, we step into emotion. Anytime that we step into the emotion, we enter the subconscious mind, because emotion is the language of the subconscious mind. When we're talking about feeling or emotion is representative of whatever is installed onto your subconscious mind, the old frequency, the old program. Anytime that you begin to feel a feeling, that it's more difficult, more complicated than it has to be, that's the old frequency. No thought is real except the ones that you choose. So the next time that you doubt yourself, not only if you don't possess the capability of seeing as a great thing immediately, which you may not possess the capability of doing that at this moment in time, just understand you don't have to choose this. How often do you experience a thought and you say, nah, I'm good? For example, if I brought AJ a burger with tomatoes, you don't like tomatoes, innit? If I brought him a burger with tomatoes, he'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Depends how hungry, actually. But, yeah.
You're always hungry, though.
How does that even mean, bro?
My point being, anytime that you don't want anything physically, we're like, nah, I'm good. But why don't we possess the same capability mentally? Why don't we possess the same capability spiritually? Because I'm always seeing niggas online talking about monitoring spirits and evil eye. I've never heard a white person complain about evil eye or monitoring spirits. And if they do, it's because they've been hanging around with niggas, quite literally. But how often do we just say, nah. 3 planes of existence. If you can deny something physically, you can deny it mentally, you can deny it spiritually. And the moment you actually begin to deny it mentally and spiritually, it won't show up physically. Because nothing can exist physically unless it first exists vibrationally. Vibrationally is nothing more than a combination of mentally and spiritually. Spiritually pertaining to emotion, because emotion is energy emotion, which is an energetic vibration, which emits a signature that we call a frequency, which then materializes into a reality. Emotion is the language of God. Please understand, the next time that you doubt yourself, just say, nah. And at first, it will push back. It will push back and be like, what the fuck do you mean no? No, you can't do. Nah, just try. Prove me wrong. Try it for a week and you'll see. The evil eye and monitoring spirits thing is too funny, man. Do you know what a fear of monitoring spirits and evil eye even does to you subconsciously? You know, let me go on a side note here. Because more often than not, you end up self-sabotaging your desired reality before it's even had the capability of materializing. Because your fear of monitoring spirits and evil eye and people are going to do this and people are going to move like this actually sets in motion for you to self-sabotage the frequency of your desired reality, because you're afraid of what people are going to do to you, because now you have associated success with threats in your mind. And do you know how fucked up this is? So me and AJ are both from the ends. If we both went through the ends with a crazy watch on and a new book, we'd probably get robbed in hours.
Real.
And how many niggas have we seen get robbed or stabbed for things that they have? And then what does that do to us psychologically? That associates, if I do too much, if I become successful, I'm going to experience some type of harm. So what do? I self-sabotage my success to keep myself safe. That's really fucked up when you think about it.
I hear it still.
Like, that's really messed up. You shoot yourself in the foot so you can't even run the race because you're afraid that if you get to the end of the race, you'll get shot anyways.
I know we've probably said this before, but some guys uploaded our episodes as podcasts on Spotify.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah, I need to get on that stuff.
Even Outsmarting Reality has an audiobook on YouTube. Shout out Andres, man.
These guys are too fast, bro.
No, they are. Guys, the audiobook is coming soon. The reason I just ain't done it yet is because I'm trying to get my mum to the studio with me so she can read the foreword, because that will then solidify it for me.
Why you going in the studio? Like a rapper.
I gotta go to the recording studio, innit?
Spitting them bars.
No, I got bars.
Please don't try rapping, though.
No, I wouldn't. I guarantee if you go on any nigga's notes on his phone, he's written bars.
Real. Me and my boys back in the day used to do rap battles, bro.
Yeah,
Serious.
We used to do that too. Bro, I've been in like 3 rap battles. Mum's life. Anybody who went to my school knows. I just done blue. Did I do red? You said you like orange, innit?
Yeah. I'm gonna use my favorite color.
Of course, bro. So, to reiterate one thing in particular. Self-doubt is a portal, not a problem. Self-doubt is a great thing because it's representative of the progression that is taking place. If you ever want to know if this shit's working and nothing's changing, ask yourself, do you doubt yourself? And that's probably like hit your mind like crazy, because you're like, I've been doubting myself my whole life. Well, you've been round the corner from change your whole life. But through perceiving it as a bad thing, then you siphon that bad frequency straight to the frequency of your desired reality, and you negatively alter and corrupt it, so you begin to materialize it as this terrible thing. The other thing that I need you to understand about self-doubt, and this is going to give you a light bulb moment right here. Self-doubt is nothing more than misdirected belief. Think about it. Quite literally think about it. To doubt yourself is to simply believe that you can't do it, but you're still believing, which means that the capability of redirecting that belief exists within you. And when you see it like that, you're like, damn. And we know more often than not that belief, well, I always say that belief isn't suffice, because you should step into knowing, because conviction is the most important word when it comes to manifestation. But belief also has its place. Every time that you believe that you can't, what you don't realize is that you're setting into motion creation. When you believe you can't, you set into motion that you can't. I can't remember if it was Ford or Edison that said this. The man who thinks he can't is right, and the man who thinks he can is also right. Why? Because self-doubt is nothing more than still belief. It's still belief, it's just ignorant belief. Self-doubt is ignorant belief. Self-doubt is ignorant belief. And that belief is still an energy source. But see, when I point that out to you, you're like, which means that now all you have to do is simply redirect it. And how do I redirect that energy? How do I redirect that energy, Nero? By simply coming to the understanding that every time you experience self-doubt is actually a great thing. Every time you experience self-doubt, I want you to be very happy and tell yourself, this is an amazing, great thing that I'm doubting myself. Because what this will do is redirect the energy of self-doubt, which was going to let's put you off unwanted reality, straight to your desired reality. Every time that you perceive it to be a terrible thing, every time that you begin to feel emotions, because understand, emotions act as a particular glue, right? And every time that you experience the emotions of irritation, frustration, annoyance, despair, every time you doubt yourself, you actually immerse and solidify those emotions deeper into your self-doubt and you lock yourself into a reality, because understand that emotion, look, using your favorite color now. Emotion. Okay. I swear, if we had HR, I would have reported you weeks ago, months ago.
We are the HR.
That's the craziest part. Me and you, HR. Emotion sets into motion, energy, emotion, that becomes vibration, that becomes frequency. So anytime that you begin to experience the emotions of frustration, irritation, annoyance at self-doubt, despair, you're like, damn man, this is bad. You set into motion, emotion, energy, emotion, that becomes vibration, that becomes a frequency, and all frequency must become a reality. That is until you can alter what you begin to experience about self-doubt, because self-doubt is nothing more than misdirected belief. And the fact that you believe that you can't means you possess the capability of believing you can. Because like I said, everything in reality comes with energetic opposites. So can't and can are energetic opposites. Capable and incapable, energetic opposites, right? So all you need to do every time that you begin to experience self-doubt is to reiterate one thing into your head, that I've already done it. Now, what do I mean by this? Like I said, you only experience self-doubt when the old frequency feels under threat. The old frequency exists outside of our third dimensional realm. It is transcendent of time-space constraints, so it's outside of our physical plane. So for it to be under threat knows that, even though there's no time-space, but for conceptualization, I'm going to say it like this, it knows that your old frequency is about to come and take it out its seat and sit down in that seat. And technically that has already happened. And that's what you need to begin to focus on. Every time that you begin to feel doubt, you need to solidify. You need to solidify the idea that it has already happened. It has already happened. It has already happened. I've already got that job. I've already got that girl. I've already got that guy. I've already got this X amount of money. I've already got this career promotion. I'm already in this relationship. Solidify, 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 solidify. We are quite literally alchemizing what doubt is, and we're transforming it into certainty. Which brings me to my next point.
How many sprays?
What? Are
search.
you the fucking spray sergeant?
I'm the spray officer.
Pause.
The spray
What?
police.
Pause. What? Bro, come on, bro. Come on.
That's not as bad as you think.
You literally said you're the spray officer.
I'm the spray police.
Oh, even worse. Alright, cool.
Got it. Oh my god. I'm currently reading. I don't know why I feel that.
What are you talking about?
This message? This comment?
What does it say?
Got it. Oh my god.
Got what?
I'm currently reading. I don't know why I feel like you pirated your own book. Because that's something.
Oh, they're talking about the book. She's saying she got the book.
Yeah.
And she feels like what?
You pirated your own book. Anyways, thank you so much. Why do you laugh like a villain, bro? This ain't a good look.
Oh, you think I pirated my own book? No comment, Your Honor. Hypothetically, that would be crazy, right?
You have, haven't you?
I start rapping and re-offended. You know when the trap needs meddling. Too much mixing of
Brizzy.
You know when the pack needs blending. I copy it, 20 shot it, the gangs are spending. You never beat that mashup.
One
And
hand.
after the boot, your hands all trembling.
Trembling.
Too much cap I'm hearing. Too much swag they're wearing. And they ain't bought no hammers. That's so backwards, man. That's scary. I know I'm a rapper. Sorry to say, it's on me. Any other comments?
Nero. I really need your help.
Oh.
Okay. I've been watching your videos and taking notes, but every time I try to shift internally, I experience severe headache. It's happened to me. It's happened to me over more than 10 times now.
Every time you're watching my video.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I tried searching on the internet regarding this and how to overcome, but the internet is filled with dumb so-called spiritual people. Like a girl literally told me to use crystals and shea butter, man. I was like, what the fuck?
She got a headache.
She's trying to shift internally, but she gets a headache.
Drink some water, love. I think you're just dehydrated, man.
What is going on? This thing is dying.
Like, not everything's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Whew. Not everything is spiritual. If you're getting headaches, you might just be dehydrated.
I think this other person's dehydrated. They said Adele's way better than Taylor Swift.
She is.
Yeah.
She is.
No, she's no. So you're dehydrated too. Yeah.
Good. Sick. Nice. Yeah, drink some water, love. I don't think I've ever really used this green, so I'm gonna try it. Remember last time I used yellow was bad. And you know what's crazy? We're on the topic of self-doubt, right? The unfortunate thing about self-doubt is if you don't possess the capability of doing everything that, you know, I've been saying on this video and everything I'm about to finish with right here, you will stay in the exact same position you are. Because everybody that you look at and aspire to be like are simply individuals who have the capability of moving on with their self-doubt. That is literally it. Like, I work with professional footballers in the Premier League. I work with Hollywood actors, 7-8 figure entrepreneurs. Quite literally everybody has self-doubt. Like, everybody has self-doubt. The people that you would never conceptualize, your favorite influencers, they have self-doubt. Why? Because I know, because they're all taught to me. And you have to understand that when we're talking about self-doubt, if you don't possess the capability of transcending it and understanding that it's just a part of the game, it's the easy part of game one, you're gonna stay stuck where you are. Which brings me to my next thing. If you're an entrepreneur, an actor, an athlete who feels stuck and their potential is limited, whether revenue, whether performance, and you want to take off that ceiling, then that's literally what I'm hired for. So link in the description. Cool. Let me know how this looks, AJ. You guys let me know if you like this green or not, because I remember they couldn't see the yellow.
I can tell this green is going to be shit.
You think so?
Yeah. It's not that bad.
It's not bad, is it? Who gives a fuck? So
until everyone's roasting you in the comments.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're begging for forgiveness.
I remember last time they were like, never use that yellow again. I was like, whoa.
Calm down.
Self-doubt. Cool. Now, as well as alteration of your perception, let me go with red. As well as the alteration of your perception, the emotion that you begin to experience every time you feel self-doubt, so on and so forth. One thing that you have to do anytime that you experience self-doubt, anytime that you have the capability of getting some time to literally sit down and relax, so on and so forth. And I say relax for the understanding that the moment that you begin to relax, your brain actually enters a completely different brainwave state. It enters into theta and alpha, which is 4 to 8 hertz. And theta is quite literally the door to the subconscious mind. And more often than not, we attempt to materialize or impress our subconscious mind with ideas when our brain is in direct contradiction to, well, brainwave state is in direct contradiction to manifestation. I actually have a chapter about this in my Amazon bestselling. I'm gonna say this every time.
Amazon bestselling.
You know, like an ad. You know, like an ad on TV. No, but literally, there's a chapter in it called, I think, on Earth as It Is in Heaven, and I go through the understanding that heaven is synonymous with relaxation, inner peace, bliss, and relaxation, inner peace, and bliss is synonymous with the brainwave states theta, theta is the prerequisite you need to be in relaxation before you can get an idea into your subconscious mind. Hence why in John 3:27 it says, a man cannot receive unless it is given to him from heaven. A man cannot receive unless it is first given to him from heaven. Your ability to receive your desired reality, prerequisite to that is that you are in heaven, and it must come from heaven, and that can only take place if you're in relaxation. So whenever you get a chance to enter a degree of relaxation in a meditative state, you need to begin to cultivate self-confidence, self-certainty, because anytime that you're experiencing self-doubt, it can also be, and I said it can also be, a representation that there's an aspect of self-confidence and self-certainty that is lacking. And if that is what you feel like, and bear in mind, you'll know, all right? You'll know internally if this particular section resonates with you. You may simply just lack self-certainty and confidence, which simply means that you haven't had emotional experiences, because any experience that is emotional enters the subconscious mind. You haven't had emotional experiences that represent or that have generated confidence. And the beauty of the mind is that the mind can't distinguish between truth and imagination if it's vivid and intense enough. So you can literally utilize your imagination to visualize a scene where you are experiencing a certain degree of confidence. Now, this could be you getting the job. This could be you getting the girl. This could be you getting the guy. This could be you, making the amount of money that you want to make. Now, this has to be something that is simple. It has to be something that is short, so it's repeatable, and just loop it like a boomerang again and again and again, something that generates emotion, because anything that generates emotion internally will then, if it's reflective of confidence, it will generate internal self-confidence, and then self-doubt will no longer have its place within you. And when self-doubt no longer has its place within you, the subconscious mind will only make room for more self-confidence, which will then, in turn, if it's within, it will materialize without. With that being said, that is the spiritual science of self-doubt. A man need to make you work hard, make you sweat hard. A man need to make you work hard, make you